YouTube, what's happening? We have made it. Football season is back. Tomorrow is Saturday, August 24th. As you can see, we got 4 football games to talk about today in college. Oh, it feels so good saying that out loud into a microphone. Oh, it's been amazing. Can't wait. So, yeah, the games aren't exactly the best, but guess what? It's real football. It's not preseason NFL. It's actual meaningful football on the field, and we get to watch it tomorrow, and we get to bet on it. Oh, it's a new season. The recaps at the bottom are reset to 0. We're going to track every single game throughout the season, just like we do in baseball every single day. And there's going to be a lot of play. You think I bet a lot in baseball? You haven't seen nothing yet. I will. Oh, yeah, there's going to be some plays. I drop a lot of parlays. I drop a lot of straight bets. I do, yeah, hell, I do teasers in football. I don't, whatever I want to do. Football is my number one. I love it. So you get it. You get it. If you're watching this, you know what I'm feeling. So anyways, we have 4 games to talk about. Today, we're going to go through these games. And since we don't have much information, I'm typically statistics based and I look at like trends and leans and things like that. Because if you've been watching from baseball, you see how I do it every day. Football's a little different. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on, with it being week 0 or the first game of the season, we're going to focus more so on the depth chart, who came in, who left. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at the stats from last year because I have it set up so we can see the 2023 stats, see what they did. Teams didn't change all that much. So, coaching staffs change here and there, but not too many changes really massively happen in some places. So it should be pretty easy to interpret last year's stats into the first game. So basically with some of the players that came back. So based on that, we'll look at the lines, we'll look at the totals, we'll look and see if there's anything we can get value in. With it being week 1, I tend to be a little more cautious because I kind of want to see what they do, but still I'm going to be unloading some plays. Even though there's only 4 plays, I will have plays. Don't you worry, they're coming today. So after the plays are done, we're going to bounce over to the futures and we're going to look through those because there's only 4 games. So let's do the 4 games. We'll do the futures and we'll call it a day there. One quick video. Drop a like, subscribe. Football's back, baby. Let's jump into that first game. Right. All right. First game up. We got Florida State, Georgia Tech. Florida State 13-1 last year. Georgia Tech 7-6. They got the gift of a win against Miami because Miami forgot to take a knee. Fun things like that are back finally. Florida State's minus 450 on the money line. You can see that they are only 10.5 on the spread right now. I started making this video, they were 12.5. That's how much this line has moved already. So we're getting in some weird territory here. So 56.5 is what's 55.5. It's already gone up. People are betting the over. People are excited. The money's coming in. So there we go. Let's head on over to the next page. Let's look at the stats. These are 2023 stats. This shows the rankings in the middle with the advantage on who has the best ranking based on 2023 stats. As we move throughout the season, 2023 will go away and I'll slowly start putting like last 1, last 3, how they are away, how they are home based on where they're at, all that stuff. This thing will adjust as the games go. And I'll be using the same thing for the NFL as well. So this is what we're using. At the top, you'll see last week. That'll show what they did last week. So we can see it on screen. And then next week, we'll show who they're playing. Like Florida State's next game is against Boston College on Labor Day. Georgia Tech is playing Georgia State next week. So we can see that pretty cool information right there. So basically, you can see Georgia Tech was pretty good on the rushing. They were better. They had more yards per game on offense. Passing clearly went to Florida State because of Jordan Travis most of the year. To me personally, Florida State's defense is the key here because Florida State, look at those numbers. Yeah, they had turnover. Every team has turnover. We know that. But Georgia Tech's defense just was not good. Let's just be honest. They were not the best. They gave up 31 points a game. They gave up 450 yards a game. Florida State's defense will lock you down. And I think they're going to shut Georgia Tech down somewhat. So for this one, so let's look a little deeper, shall we? First thing we're going to do is go to some depth charts. And I'm going to make a statement that's probably going to upset some people because I heard someone else say it. And as soon as I heard it, I went, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's not my original thought. I cannot remember who said it. I saw it yesterday. I think it was on TikTok for all things. So here we go. This is Florida State's thing. Yellow, this is from our lads. Yellow means they're new, they came in, or they're freshmen. The main thing everyone's going to look at is DJ. I cannot say it. I've been trying to say this man's name for 5 years, ever since he was at Clemson, and I cannot do it. I struggle with names. What can I say? I call him DJU. Or DJ Ukulele. Everyone knows who you're talking about. Is DJU. Yeah, so he is in there and everyone's focusing on him. The thing I heard was, I think, or that person thinks, that DJ is going to be a massive downgrade from Jordan Travis. And the first thing I thought was, yeah, probably so. Yeah. But the thing is, no one's talking about is Roydell Williams is now in from Alabama. And Roydell, if we look at Roydell's history, last year with Bama, 110 carries, 5.1 average, dude is going to be the star of the show now. And DJ, if you look at his stats, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks, 22 and 7. I mean, that's okay. I mean, his completion percentage went down 5 points. That's not good. And you were playing against different, I'm not liking it. So I think this is going to be more of a heavy run offense. DJ is going to do a lot of running himself. Roydell is going to get a lot of touches. Like, I've seen some tickets for Roydell over for the season, and I like those. I think I want to jump. I don't like betting too many futures, but this is a future I like because I think he is going to tote the rock a lot in this season for him. So also, let's bounce over to Georgia Tech. You can see most of their team is back when it comes to like the first string. So a few new faces, but mainly like Haynes King is the main guy. We're looking at Haynes King. He went 26 and 15 last year, 62%, 27, 55 yards. Pretty good season, especially for Georgia Tech. It feels weird seeing Georgia Tech throw the ball so much, seeing as how they were running so much forever. It just feels weird. Whatever. Changes are changes. We move on. So good season. Can't complain. I think Florida State should be able to hold them back a little bit in this game. So I think for the year, he's going to do fine. Do I expect them to be like 10-3, 10-2? No, but maybe 7, 8 wins, maybe a little worse. We'll see. But for me personally, in this one, I am looking at Florida State's going to go to the money line for sure. I'm taking them. I don't think Georgia Tech can get the win here. I think Florida State's defense will make sure they get the win. But when it comes to the total, the spread or the total, I don't like the spread. It was 12.5 literally like 20 minutes ago. Now it's 10.5. That's how fast it moved. The total was 55.5. Now it's 56.5. I got the under. I'm just going to say it. I think Florida State's going to run the ball. They're going to run the clock. I think the under, Florida State's, Georgia Tech is going to struggle to get points as it is. I think 56.5 under should be a nice play. Maybe 28-17, 28-14, 28-10, 31-7. None of those get close to 56, I know, but that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to take the under 56.5 now that we cross that key number of 56. And Florida State will go on my money line parlay. And if you're new for football, I do some really big parlays when it comes to money lines, especially in football, because home field is, I know they're not at home. I know they're in Ireland, but still, that matters. You got the travel, you got the jet lag, first game of the season, a whole bunch of things can add up here. I mean, look at last year. I believe it was Northwestern, went 1-11, but the only win was the Ireland game. Like, come on. Things are weird in Ireland. So I'll still say Florida State in money line. I'm going to take the under 56.5, and let's move on to the next game. All right, next up, SMU and Nevada. And let me tell you, just from looking at this game is a total mismatch. Let's be honest here. SMU's minus 3,000 on the money line. They're 25.5 on the spread. You can see over unders 55. Okay, that makes sense. So let's bounce over here to the information. We see this is all 2023 stats. And what do you notice? A whole bunch of little pony logos right there because they are favored in every category I have on here. That's points per game, passing yards, rushing yards, total yards, third down offense percentage, seconds per play, basically how fast they are, points against, pass against, rush against, total against, third down defense, turnover margin, and penalty yards. Nevada is terrible. That's what they were last year. You can see the rankings. None of the rankings are even close. SMU was great last year against the competition they had. Now, the biggest question is, okay, they're going to ACC. They're stepping up their competition. Sure. Nevada ain't that competition right now, so I don't think they got nothing to worry about. So another thing, you can see all the information there, and it's some heavy leaning towards SMU. Now, if I pop over here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the depth charts real quick. We can see for SMU, we got Preston Stone back and Brashard Smith's in from Miami. Now, if we're looking at Preston Stone, we look at his last year. You can see he did pretty good. 3,200 yards, 28 tutties, and 6 picks. Great season overall. Brashard Smith's coming in. He's listed as a starter. He didn't do too much at Miami, but I mean, he's a starter for a reason. They see something they like. So I still think it's going to be the Preston Stone show. I think he's going to throw it all over the field. Not a problem. Now, if we look over here at Nevada, we look at their history, their depth chart, you can see what's going on here. There's a whole brand new receiving core came in. Same quarterbacks here, though. I don't care how good your receivers are. If your quarterback's not that good, how are you going to give him the ball? Because look at last year for him. Not hating on Brendan Lewis at all, but you threw 1,300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 picks. That was your season last year. I mean, 2021 was good. 1,500, 10 and 3, but where's those numbers? Because last year just wasn't good. I don't see any world where Nevada keeps up with SMU in this one. I just can't see it because of everything. You look at the depth chart for SMU, they got almost their whole team still there. Yellow is the new transfers or freshmen or additions. That's just it. So, and you can see they got some pieces on defense, pieces on special teams, but their core offense is still there. That offense, as we saw, was literally just dominating last year. So for me, I am going to, one, take SMU in the moneyline parlay. Of course, you'll learn as the season goes on. I put a lot of favorites in the moneyline parlay. Usually it's only for home teams unless there's just such a big mismatch like this. Like this is one of those. So I'm putting SMU in there. They're going to join Florida State. They're going to hang out together. I'm going to take SMU minus 25.5. This feels like a 49-3 halftime. We saw that last year. We've seen that plenty of times. That's what this feels like. So I'm taking SMU on the spread, and I'm also, yeah, I'm gonna do it. No. I was gonna take the over. I thought about taking the over. I'm looking at it. It's staring at me. It's like, ugh. I don't know if Nevada can get a touchdown. Just saying it. I don't know if they do. So I'm gonna take SMU on the spread. Money line, that's it in this game. Let's head on to the next one. All right, next up, the next two obviously going to have an FCS matchup with an FBS team. So we got to take those in consideration because it's week 1. There's 4 games. We're going to find a way to bet on them somehow, aren't we? Yes, we are. So this one is the 3rd game. It's Montana State versus New Mexico. Now, Outlier doesn't have any odds or props or anything for it because it involves the FCS team. Now, they might have it come tomorrow for the game, but as of Friday afternoon, they do not have that. So here we go. We can look at it. We can see the line. It's Montana State is favored by 2 touchdowns over New Mexico. And people will see that and be like, what? No shot. But then you have to look at how Montana State was last year. You got to see that their whole schedule. Let me load this up real quick. Let me look at 2023 and show you how they did. Oh, they were number 1 in the Big Sky. And yeah, they lost to North Dakota State in overtime on December 2nd. Win, lots and lots of wins. This is one of those fun ones where the FCS team is probably going to win quite easily. So that's what it is. Yeah, looking at the line, 550 money line for Montana State, totals 54.5. Let's bounce over and look at some stats because we actually can a little bit. New Mexico went 4-8 last year. They had a whole bunch of roster turnover, but we can still look. You can see Montana State. They don't have the rankings, but if I went through the effort and put the FCS rankings in here, I'm pretty sure they'll be ahead in most of these categories. So, but we can see New Mexico, how they did. They were 75th, 25 points a game, only 211 passing, 183 rushing, which actually rushing 28th was not bad for the whole, because that's out of everybody in the FBS. Third down percentage was 40%. Slower at a 104 rank at 28 seconds per play. Points allowed was terrible. They allowed 37.4. Their defense was atrocious. Passing yards 83, rushing yards 109. They allowed 419 yards a game. That's not going to get it done. That's not good. So turnover margin was minus 0.6 per game. And then penalties almost 90 yards a game. See, it's the small things like that that add up. So yeah, New Mexico just, I mean, I hate to say it, 4-8, they're just not really a good team. So you come back here, and the one we want to look at is we want to look at the roster. And there's a lot of yellow. And this is our lads. Yellow means new addition, transfer, or freshman. And you got a lot of new people starting. That ain't good for your first game. You're going to have a lot. Look at the whole O-line is new. Everyone, the whole O-line is new. And the running back's new, but Devon Dempier is still the quarterback. And if we look at his stats, we can see last year, 40 for 64, 525, 6 touchdowns, and 5. That's it. That's what he did. Now, he also runs a good bit too. So rushing, you can see what he did. He scrambles around a little bit. So he played 5 games, decent-ish numbers, I would say. Not terrible. 62% passing is not great, but it's not bad. So, but I think he's going to have a long day tomorrow against Montana State. So for me personally, I'm going to take Montana State minus 13.5 because I don't think there's a shot in New Mexico with all that new attrition and the brand new form, five brand new O-linemen. Nah. I'm taking Montana State. I'm putting them in the moneyline parlay to join SMU and Florida State. They're all going to hang out together. That's going to be a fun little parlay. Got those three. Montana State on the spread because there's plenty of places you can get this line. Total, I'm not going to mess with. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with the points being scored. I just think Montana State wins by 2 touchdowns. That's just my thoughts. See the matchup predictor. I laugh at that. 68%. See, what analytics is ESPN using here? What is this? What is this? I don't know. So I can't. So, all right. So we're taking Montana State, 2 touchdowns to win, moneyline parlay, nothing else in this one. Let's move on to that last game. All right. First up, last up, whatever you want to call it. We have Delaware State and Hawaii. I mean, it starts at midnight Eastern, so it could be the first game of Sunday. I mean, yeah, this is a matchup that is hilarious because for once, the analytics make sense, but who is giving Delaware State a 1% chance to win this game? Somebody has been drinking heavily when they did this, because if you look at Delaware State's record from last year, you will see a whole lot of L's out there, and there's a couple games with a 7, but it really wasn't even that close, let's be honest. They beat Virginia Lynchburg, which is below the next level down, I think, so it's just, they don't have a logo, it's just not that good. So Delaware State, not good at all. Henceforth, why the spread is 40.5. If you had Hawaii winning a game, being favored by almost 6 touchdowns on your bingo card for the start of the year, congratulations, you win, because 40.5 for Hawaii at home is crazy against anyone. Now, Delaware State is not anybody. They are just quite terrible, yes. But I just don't know. Like, you can't even get a money line here. That's crazy. So let's look at Hawaii a little closer. We can see their depth chart. They pretty much have their whole offense coming back pretty good. That's what you want to see. Mainly their quarterback I like to look at the most. You can see what he's done in his 3 years at Hawaii. 332, 525, 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 14 picks last year. Pretty good season overall. Can't complain. Great season. So you can see the defense itself is only bringing in one new one. A lot of continuity, if you will. They're going to be they're gelled. They're there. But are they 40 points better? I don't know. Let's look at the stats a little bit. So they do have UCLA next week. Delaware State, I'm not putting your stats up. Sorry. No, you're FCS. I can't do it. You're barely FCS. So Hawaii, they were 20.6 points per game last year, 277 passing, only 73 rushing. That's not that good. You went 5 and 8 for a reason, because you got to be able to run the ball a little bit too. 350 total is 90th out of all the teams. Third down percentage was the middle of the road. Seconds per play, 52 for 52nd. Defense is where it fell apart. 33.3 points allowed. They allowed fourth down percent was 46%. That's not good. That's not going to win you games, guys. You got to do better than that. Turnover margin was almost last at minus 0.8 per game. And then penalty yards, they have middle of the year. So Hawaii, they're gonna win this game easily. Do they win by 40? I have no clue. Am I degenerate enough to put actual money on this game? Probably. Yes, probably am. So, but what do I want to do? I have no clue. This is going to be one of those ones where, like, I kind of want to watch a little bit of it. Like, I'm gonna be up. It's Saturday football. I'm gonna watch it. So I might live bet this. Then again, I might pass out before it even starts. Who knows? So, because it starts at midnight my time. So I am not going to do a play beforehand. I can't even take a money line if I wanted to. So for this one, this will be a live play. See what happens. See what the flow is. Maybe live bet it. There will be live betting throughout the other games too. Don't worry. They're there. So I bet a lot in football. So yeah, we'll just sit back, watch this one. I don't like anything. I don't want to take a total. And 40 is crazy. I don't, because this could be an easily 77-0 game. It could be. Let's be honest. Delaware State's that bad. So we'll pass on everything. Call it a day right there. All right. So that's the 4 games. They've all broken down. Fun day. Football's back. We love it. Amazing. Now, before we jump into the futures, let's do a little recap. We got Florida State, Georgia Tech. I'm taking the under 55 or 56.5. I'm sorry, 56.5. Let me update my sheet real quick since it changed on me like that. And I'm going to take SMU 27.5. I'm going to take Montana State 13.5. All nice lines. all pretty good around the numbers that need to be on the right side of them. Also, I'm taking Florida State, SMU, Montana State in a parlay. Now, this is my first season doing football on video, but this is how I do parlays. Money line parlays, you got to be a home team. You got to be a home team. Home field advantage means so much in college sports because these are 18 to 22, hell, 27-year-old kids out there. So depending on how old you are out there, but you got to think some of these environments, like, I mean, everyone jokes about the game, the college football game about Penn State on a whiteout. It's wild. So you've all been to games, you've seen it. Sometimes it's like, how do they even, you can't even hear your buddy next to you. How are you supposed to hear somebody in a huddle on the field? So you got to be at home. We don't do no road teams. I don't care. Now, typically it works out well to a point where I have 15, 20 leg. Now it's stupid. I know I shouldn't have legs that long of moneyline parlays, but I throw a unit on it and more. If was it like two? I think it was 2 times last year. It actually hit. 1 unit turns to like 17 units. It happens. It's great. We love that. Now you have games where like Washington State ruined it like 3 or 4 times in the last handful of years. Somehow they lose at home to a team when they're the 28-point favorite. What? How are they doing that? I don't know, but they do. Washington State was good at it. So you know what I'm talking about. You saw it. So I will have one of those every single week because why not? They're fun. It's a unit. Who cares? Let's do it. Let's have fun. So I do those. They got to be at home. Can't be a rivalry game because, you know, weird things happen in rivalry games. So on top of that, lots of plays. For other games, there will be live bets going on as well. Throughout tomorrow on top of that. So let's jump into futures. I don't do too much in futures. I'll just go in and throw that out there. Now, I did find this on FanDuel. I thought it was cool because, one, I can't use FanDuel. I'm in Florida. I'm stuck with Hard Rock. Thanks. But I did see this. I looked at the other big slices to see what they do. DraftKings don't let you do this, but FanDuel will. You can parlay up to 9 different teams to actually make the playoff. Wow, that's cool. That's fun because you can take 3 or 4 from the Big Ten, 3 or 4 from the SEC, which you know is going to happen. You know these 2 conferences, the big boy conferences, are going to get 3 or 4 teams in there. You can take the ACC champ, which is going to be one of 3 teams probably, either Clemson, Florida State, or Miami. And you can take the Big 12 champ, which is probably going to be like Utah or some Arizona, one of those teams, Oklahoma State. And you can have fun putting them together. And if you can get 8 or 9 teams in there, you could probably get some really nice juice for a half a unit, 1 unit. Why not? Now, it's football. Who cares? It's fun. You're going to tie a unit up for the whole year for this? Sure. It also gives you something to root for all the way until January. That's fun too. So when it comes to like full on like betting on a certain team to like win the championship, I don't like doing that because that's only one team's going to win and who knows what it's going to be. So I personally like to come to Heisman and I like to look at all the names and I like to see how they do in a game. Now that sounds weird, that sounds wrong, but that's what I like to do because you can oftentimes get good value on somebody. You watch the game, you're like, whoa, that dude's good. You can go grab his odds before they move. A lot of times the casuals haven't jumped in yet until the media starts blasting that person. A lot of times you can watch that, oh, he's good. Did you know he's that good? I didn't know he was that good. Well, let me go check the odds. Oh, it's plus 2,500. I could throw a little money on him. Great. And all of a sudden that 2,500 become 1,500, then plus 1,000. Hell, you could even cash out, get you a nice profit. There's nothing wrong with cashing out. Don't let them fool you. There's nothing wrong with this. So you can get value on these things. So there's ways out there, different books, different rules. Obviously, I know, but you can look at some of these. And then also, it's like fantasy football. You can just pick somebody, like if I want to follow Jalen Milroe all season, I could throw him for Heisman and watch him just have fun and wash in his offense. Why not? We can do that. So just little things like that. But I like to wait until I see them play a game because I want to see how they do. Because a lot of times we got new linemen, we got new receivers, we got new coaching, we got new offensive coordinators. There's a whole slew of things. Watch one game, see how it works, because you can still get the value. Now, when you get, you know, maybe DJ comes out and just balls out tomorrow. Is he going to be plus 4,000? He might bump a little bit. He might be 3,500, but look at the different lines. Every site, you got different numbers. 5,000 here, 2,000 here. That is a crazy difference because every book is different. You just got to be able to shop your lines. The biggest thing is if you're doing one book, you're doing it wrong. You got to have multiple books to do this in. So So next week's video, I will definitely have more of a Heisman future look, but I got to see, well, maybe 2 weeks. I got to see the first games first. So I keep forgetting week 0 is a thing. This 4 games, and then we get the big week next week. So all this is there. I don't do too much in futures, but that's how I like to do it. And I just want to talk about it a little bit because everyone does it differently. So I don't want to blindly bet on people I haven't seen play in 6, 7 months. And also in their new systems, like, okay, like for Milrow, for example, how's it going to look in the Delaware system? We don't know. How is Cam Ward going to look in Miami? We don't know. We got to see. How is Nussmeier going to look? There's all these things that, okay, they're getting odds. We need to see a play. I want to see how you play first. Give me one game. Hell, give me a half and I'll bet it at halftime if you're looking great. Small things like that. So that's what I do there. I think that's all I'm going to do on futures. We talked a good bit. I've been rambling. We got baseball still going on. Baseball will continue to go on. Football will go on. NFL will come out this weekend. The first NFL video is going to probably be Sunday. It is going to be focused again on futures, but we're going to look at a little bit the lines and go for that. So on top of that, I appreciate you watching. Drop a like, subscribe. I appreciate you being here. It's going to be a fun season. So we'll see you then. Peace.